What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I'm going to talk to you about ChargePoint. Give you a quick overview of some of the data points, what is moving ChargePoint, and where I see things going from here. Before we get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So a couple of things influencing the broader market. PCE just came out better than anticipated, as you can kind of see right here. So core came in better, month over month came in at 0.1, forecast was 0.3, and then year over year 2.4 versus 2.5 the forecast. So that in reality is what's kind of helping the broader market so far. You see it is helping ChargePoint slightly, so it did have a low of $1.10. So again, it's recovering, but there's more of that debt ceiling issue still looming over the broader market. So you might have some increased volatility, but even leading into all of this crap that's happening in the market, ChargePoint's technicals weren't looking all that great. Nothing really substantial from the company. So they did announce on the 18th that they were going to be having some collaboration with GM. But I think just ChargePoint, given, let's say they were, everything was going according to plan, which is far from it. But let's say everything was going according to plan. Based on Trump's latest comments on EVs, they're going to be pulling funding, charging funding. And so that is going to really hurt ChargePoint long term. So essentially, it's just a very, very bad scenario. So I think in reality, what is going to come in 2025 is possibly a lot of acquisitions, not just with ChargePoint, but across the board as companies get cheaper and cheaper, because the market cap for right now for ChargePoint is 504.27 million. Let's say first half of 2025 things still continue on the status quo and it gets a little bit worse, then yeah, that market cap will drop and make it even more appealing to be taken over. So I think that Rivian is very much focused on charging. Many other EV companies could be potentially doing that same thought pattern. So I think ChargePoint could be a good takeover, especially as it does get cheaper. If not, then you are going to see just less and less buyers. And that's one thing that's been really plaguing ChargePoint for a very long time, is no institutions. So as far as transactions on the secondary market, above $100,000, you literally see one transaction on December the 5th. Aside from that, big money is not looking at it. And given the market, what's been happening, you need that level of support coming from institutions. So if they're not buying, it's going to be shorts. Shorts are able to do whatever the hell they want. And even pre-market right now, at the time of doing this video, they're increasing 293,000 shares. 28.48% of the free flow is being shorted. Works out to be 116.31 million shares overall are being shorted. Utilization is 100%, and then cost to borrow average is 14.72. So shorts are running the game, as bad as it sounds. So I think all in all, you definitely do need some sort of big change up or acquisition or something along those lines to really save ChargePoint and its shareholders. If not, like I said, I think the writing is on the wall. It's going to continue to trend down. Even Elliott Wave Technicals right now does have a pivot point of $1.34. So as long as it is below that, then it is anticipated to hit between that 83 and 93 cent range. So even in my last video, I kind of signaled that next step that could come for ChargePoint, if they don't fix it like ASAP, is for it to break below $1 and then go down that treacherous reverse stock split route. So it pains me to say this because I've been covering ChargePoint for a very long time, and I think initially there was a lot of high expectations, but now all of that's been thrown out the window. Analysts are giving $1.30 price targets. It's absolute craziness. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. Aside from that though, this is what happened yesterday, so on Thursday, because the market isn't open right now for options. There was 92,000 in calls, 303,000 in puts. 57% of all the options being done are bearish in nature. So a lot more downside is anticipated. And of the call options that are being purchased, you see a consensus for it to be above $1.50, $2. You are seeing this very bullish options because it's cheap. So again, that's kind of the basis of that. So volatility is very low for ChargePoint. So essentially, if you have any inkling of optimism, then yeah, you can always just buy a long-term call, and if it comes to fruition, then yeah, you'll make some very, very good money. But I think the chances right now are very much against you. But the bears are anticipating for it to be sub $1 for the foreseeable future. So it's not the best chain of events, but right now with it at $1.13 pre-market, it is down slightly. But one very key point to watch for is that $1.12 pre-market. It was temporarily below that before PCE did come out, so watch for it to stay above that today and going forward. If not, then you're going to see $1.04 being the next strong support, and then that's just a fine line between that and then it pulling back. Like I said, Elliott Wave Technicals are projecting for it to hit this S3, so roughly around that 90-cent range. So I think there is more pain coming for ChargePoint. And honestly, I don't know, especially based on their last earnings, there isn't really anything coming out from the company itself to save it. The only thing would be external, and that would be in the form of a takeover. And given where ChargePoint's at, their amount, their balance sheet and everything, I don't think right now someone would be looking at ChargePoint to buy them. If anything, I think it would have to most likely half, at least from these levels, to be a very good takeover opportunity, a bid, and that would be putting it in roughly around that 200 mil or 250 price range. So yeah, I think all in all, ChargePoint did have a lot of good opportunity, as I've mentioned, but I think it's just not looking all that great. One thing I did want to bring up though, when scrolling all the way down here, you do have the Altman Z score. Where was it? Altman Z score is negative, so negative 2.12. So based on stats for those purposes, it does show bankruptcy is coming. And honestly, Altman Z score or Z, whatever, if you're Canadian or American, it is fairly accurate for the most part. Of course, things can change and whatever, but normally, like, anything negative is pretty much a guarantee that bankruptcy is coming. Of course, bankruptcy can be kicked down the can quite a lot, so you can do reverse stock splits and issuances that way. But whenever it's negative, that's something to very be cautious over. So let me know your thoughts on ChargePoint. Are you a buyer? Are you a seller? And are you averaging down? What's your overall just thoughts on ChargePoint? And let's say if it does have a takeover, what price point would you feel is kind of justified? I know I'm going to get this question every time I've ever talked on acquisition on any stock I've ever covered. This question always pops up. And how much would it go for? That is the bread and butter. And essentially, you want a cheaper price, because a cheaper price, that's where it's more appealing to entities. So like I said, if it does go down another 50%, then it might get approached to be taken over. Normally what does happen though is the company kind of putting in the bid to ChargePoint for a tentative offer will pay a roughly around a 30 to 40% premium. And that's just to pretty much guarantee that shareholders will give the rubber stamp, because there has to be a approval process and everything, unless they do it like a hostile takeover. But yeah, this is a quick ChargePoint video. Let me know your thoughts. One final thing I do want to share with you though, I did launch a Patreon where I'm giving buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. And I just did some analysis yesterday on all the hits, so successes, losses, or misses, I guess, on my targets. And there's a lot that have doubled, tripled, a lot of big bangers on there. So pop over there, take a look. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.